unusually, for an event in this setting, we're going to start exactly on time. Good evening. Thank you so much for coming tonight. My name is Sue-Ann Kelman. The place tag is not entirely accurate. I retired from Ryerson in September from the School of Journalism, where I was, among other things, the interim chair a couple of times. I'm also a member of UJA's Israel-Arab Issues Committee. For tonight, at a time when there is so much bad news, I am delighted to have the chance to introduce to you people who are working towards and achieving positive change in Israel to enhance the inclusion and participation of Israel's Arab citizens in the economy in particular and in the full social structure. Our panel tonight is uniquely qualified to give you a realistic but hopeful portrait of these initiatives, which receive help from the Israeli government, non-government agencies, corporations, and communities like ours. It's easy to lose our sense of proportion when the media focus so relentlessly on conflict, but as you'll learn, there are other things happening as well, initiatives to improve the lives of all Israelis in which tonight's guests are leaders. I'd like to move directly to tonight's program since it is a rich one. I have to warn all speakers and the audience that I am under extremely strict instructions to adhere to the timetable, with unspecified but horrible penalties if I fail. And since I am very, very frightened of Jeffrey Stutz, I am going to be following those instructions. So first, it's my pleasure to introduce Ralph Shedletsky, Chair of the Board of the Jewish Federations of Canada and a member of the board of UJA Toronto, a friend, and for the Montrealers in the group, a survivor of Camp Wooden Acres.
You're talking to a generation who don't know what you're talking about. Thank you, Sue-Ann. I'm here tonight to extend greetings and thanks on behalf of the board of UJA Federation of Toronto, and as board chair from Jewish Federations of Canada, United Israel Appeal, the national federation body. UJA Federation is now in its third year of membership in the Jewish Federations of North America's Social Venture Fund. The fund, as Jeffrey wrote in his introduction to the program tonight, invests $1 million a year in projects to advance the economic progress of Israel's Arab citizens, their education, and building shared society. Again, as Sue-Ann mentioned, today more than ever, given the tensions of last summer and continuing strain on Jewish-Arab relations, it's important to support efforts to do better. This evening, we'll hear from people who are working hard to make positive changes and who understand that including Arab citizens in Israeli economic success is vital. Liz Wolfe, then board chair, provided greetings for the first forum 3 years ago, and in her introductory remarks, she reinforced the importance of the work being done and the meaning it held for Irwin Green, for whom this Alav Shalom, for whom this forum is named. Liz also, at the time, put out a simple challenge, that we listen and learn. I echo her sentiments and look forward to a most informative evening. Thank you to our speakers, the committee, and especially to all of you who are here and have come to listen. Thank you.
I should have checked earlier. We're of varying heights. Can people at the back hear? Okay, then we're good. And now, may I welcome to the podium the very distinguished diplomat, D.J. Schneeweiss, Consul-General of Israel.
Thank you very much, Sue-Ann, and good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to have the opportunity, an honor to have the opportunity to spend a couple of minutes with a couple of remarks from the consulate's point of view. And the first thing I want to say is just to commend UJA Federation, to commend the Arab Affairs Committee, Jeffrey Stutz, its chair, for all the work that you do in promoting the agenda that we're discussing here tonight, the integration or the further understanding of the need and the need to resource the integration of Israel's Arab minority into our society. I also want to acknowledge and thank Aiman Saif for coming here from far away, a representative of our government, and it's an honor to be able to host you here. Another representative of the government of Israel who's here in the room is a colleague and friend of mine by the name of Michael Khoury. He is Israel's economic attaché to Canada, and he is a Christian Arab. And he's sitting here with us this evening. And I think it's a great acknowledgement, sort of, if you like, a badge of honor that we wear, that we have members of our minorities who are part of our diplomatic corps. Not enough, but it says something about the values that do guide us. And as regards those values, I think it's important to say, as the official representative of the country, that Israel is not just another Jewish community, it's a Jewish society. And this entails all sorts of considerations and complexities and responsibilities that require different thinking than the thinking that has guided our people for the last 2,000 years. We need to suffuse the effort to build our sovereign Jewish state, not only with our Jewish language and culture, but also with our Jewish values of justice and equity for all. We can't just think like a minority, like we've been used to through the decades, through the generations. And there is a risk that the insular version of Jewish life, which was honed over 2,000 years of living as a minority on other people's lands, that instinctive drive to look after our own, knowing that it's someone else's responsibility to look after everyone else. We must be careful that that insularity does not trump the loftier, worthier aspirations of the Zionist enterprise. We haven't done enough, but we are doing better, and we understand the need to do more. And as a final thought, I'll say, for those here in the room, there probably aren't any that wonder, but for those that may hear about this meeting from beyond this room, that it is profoundly Zionist, and supportive of Israel, and profoundly and inherently Jewish to work for the full and equal integration of Israel's minority communities into Israeli life, and to ensure that all of us have equal access to the resources, the education, and the opportunities, not only to benefit, but to contribute to our future way. Thank you very much.